Yo, guys, I missed a trade that would have paid me a little over $1,100. Not because I didn't see it, but it's more so because I just didn't want to force myself to get into the trade. And it's crazy because had this happened last year, let alone even a few years ago, it would have bothered me it would have made me sick. But in my time away, and just me going through my life and everything, I've been learning that being right isn't the same thing as being disciplined and following the rules and boundaries that you have set for yourself in this space. So this isn't just about money, it's not about just trading, finance or anything, but it's also about stewarding your decisions, all right? Our time, our capital, our faith, our decisions, and you get to be part of that journey as well. So guys, my name is Dudley. Welcome to the House of Stewardship. Let's get it. All right, yo guys, so listen, before we do anything, man, and I guess in every video, I'm gonna do my best, man, to give y'all the word. I'm not gonna lie, this right here, guys, cheat code to life. I started opening the Bible a little more. I actually had my first encounter in this room, man. As we're just going through this life, you know, man, you gotta stay grounded, you gotta stay rooted, you know, so I gotta just do my best to just drop that seed, man. Whoever comes to this channel, we're not just doing what we can to get financially ahead and everything. We want to make sure that we're tapped in, man. So get the word and get reading, all right? Today's scripture will be found in 1 Peter 3, actually, verse 8. And it says, finally, all of you be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. For, in quote, it says, whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayer, but the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. And I'm gonna stop right there, and that'll be like the scripture for, like, you know, this video and everything. And just honestly, just stepping into this year, 2026, I realized that we were designed to like live a good life. We are God's children, and because we are God's children, like, we were designed to live a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much giving us free game. He's like, man, bro, if you want to see good days, if you want to have a good life in this world, one, you must keep your tongue from evil. The tongue is an unruly beast. Like, you got to control what comes out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because like the things that you say become your reality. You attract certain things based upon like what you say and all of that, right? You gotta turn from evil and do good, like the evil desires, all right? I'm gonna be honest, like January 11th or whatever day, I actually kind of forgot, but January actually makes it my 8th month being sober. You know, this year definitely we're practicing purity as well, and just having a clear mind going into this year, suffering for doing the right thing, okay? And then seeking peace and pursue it. Guys, honestly, starting this year off with the Lord, this is like the most mentally clear I've ever been. Just seeking the Lord, okay? Because the Lord is peace. Pursue him first above all, right? Seek the kingdom first. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears, all right? He listens to their prayers. So when we take the time to stop doing the things that we want to do, like our flesh wants to do and everything, the smoking, the sexual immoralities and the substances, or whatever it is that's taking our time away from the Lord, whatever is taking us from the will of God and everything, God's gonna hear our prayers and everything. Peter just encourages us to just act like the Lord Jesus Christ, right? Man, that's just like the word, you know, and that's just for me. This is what like I've been moving on ever since this year started and everything. It's been like a recurring theme for me, and just being obedient, guys. Me doing this in my outside world can also transfer into like the world of trading as well, because it also helps me to be disciplined. It also helps me to just stay calm. It also helps me to just think about my decision making before I make a trade, before I make a move in the market, okay? And honestly, being a trader in the faith as well, it's also gonna help tackle the markets as well. It helps with the psychology as well, because I'm no longer just taking things out the flesh anymore, but I'm also just like praying before I do anything now. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, guys, let's get into it actually. So Happy New Year, first and foremost. Yo, it's been like what, like a year maybe? A year and some change since we dropped like the last video. The last video that I do recall dropping on YouTube is just, you know, we're about to move the family, the pack, man, we're about to move. Man, moving to where I live now and everything was such a huge jump. And I didn't really know how life would look like, to be honest. But it's been like, it's about to be 2 years this year. Lord's will, we get to see that, right? Honestly, like, it's been a real blessing. God positioned me to do things outside of here, to be able to just like, be the light out there, you know? I didn't take a pause in trading and everything. I just spent like the first couple months back testing, but I was also in school. You know, we're finance majors, man. So primarily most of my time was taken from school, and I became a director of music for a nonprofit organization called Phasia in the Haitian young adult community. And it was awesome. I mean, it's still awesome. I still am doing that and everything. But I told myself, man, this year that like I really want to get back to my roots and just focus on what God gave me so that we can make this year such an impactful year. And I'm just locked in, man, on trading, dog. Like, oh my gosh. So many things happened this month alone, like small things, but very small, impactful things. First and foremost, we are also funded traders, okay? We are funded 5 figures, y'all boys. I just give thanks to God. One, two. It's not what you know, it's who you know, man. It turns out that Hans Felix actually posted a video on Instagram where Fortune's Funding were just dropping accounts for traders and everything in January. I applied to it. I didn't really know if I was gonna, attain the account or anything, but I did it anyways. You get me? I did it anyways. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Wait. Actually, like, I'm recording right now and like you're on video. Yeah, guys, I'm funded. We cleared debt, man, this month. We're about to launch and everything. And nevertheless, it has been a blissful month. And I believe that it also starts with like God as my foundation. The moment I decided to make a decision to just like seek the Lord, make an active decision to just leave like evil desires behind, man, because I really want to live a good life. I want to live a life where like it's impactful, it's purposeful. I don't want to just be financially unbreakable, but I want to live a life where, man, I could look back and say that, man, God has really been in my life for and I'm able to bless other people in return. So I do want to get a chance to go over the trade that I did miss. It was a great setup. It was on GBP USD. We'll look at it together, but we're gonna start doing these a little more. And I don't know when I'm gonna drop the next video and everything. Something for my mental sanity, something consistent, but I don't even know what I'm gonna call this though, but we're gonna get into it though. Let's check the markets. Let me just go over what I did, the risk management and the thought process behind it. And then, man, we'll just see on the next video. Let's get it. All right, I pray that this is this is working, man. Guys, welcome to the charts, man. Let's get into it. And before I do anything, guys, just want to let you know, guys, I am a swing trader. If I didn't say it already, I am a swing trader. And it's because when I first started, I started off as a swing trader. And bruh, old brother, man, like, I don't even know why I allowed myself to do it, but I transferred over to becoming a day trader and just jumping into the hype of just making money like within an hour or like entering the 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and whatever. It's cool and all, but for me, like man, it's like it wasn't it for me for real. It did something to my mental, getting and trying to trade every Tuesday to Friday, and that's not what it is. And throughout the year, we'll get into that and everything and what it truly means and what I've been learning and what's been helping me in my progress and what's helping me even now to see what it is, guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing that we got to look into, man, is the higher time frame, because the higher time frame is going to give you what you need to be looking at, okay? It's going to just allow you to formulate your ideas. And one thing I'm going to give you free game is that whenever we see like lows, this is a low, okay? Whenever we see these things get ran, okay? We're always going to see price expand from these lows. So boom, this previous low, price came in, beam, took out. All right. This one over here, let's clone this. Same thing. Okay. And it happens vice versa too when we have like these highs or whatever, right? Same thing, beam, low. All right. So that's just something that you want to pay attention for. And when we're buying, we always want to see a low get ran first before anything, okay? So that's just a little game. It took me 3 years to like figure it out. I learned it in my second year. It took me 3 years to actually see it. And then like it took me 2 years to actually start applying it, and I'm about to enter my fifth year this summer. Praise the Lord, man. So I noticed this low was taken out, okay, on the higher time frame on the monthly. And also, guys, every candlestick that you see here is also it's been formed on the monthly time frame. So it took a month to like form these candles, okay? Once I seen this, okay, just to formulate my idea, I'm like, okay, well, I seen this order block over here, price came here. We're thinking we're going lower, but it didn't. It actually held at this candlestick over here, this say demand zone over here, right? And then we have an expansion. Okay, we have an expansion higher. And then this is where we see our first break of structure towards the upside. Okay, we have a break of structure right there. After the break of structure, we see that we have a low and the high. In buying markets, we're looking for higher lows and higher highs. Okay. This is the low that put in this high. So now we're anticipating market to come and make a higher low for us to get into the market again. What do we see in here? We see the same thing like I just told you. Whenever a bond want to see the market take a low out over here and expand. And the great thing about this is that price came into this institutional candle over here, this last sell to buy candle, and it mitigated into it perfectly. Okay. Then we had this low that put in this high on the monthly still. And then guess what? We have another breaker structure. It's just wham after wham, right? We have another breaker structure. And usually what I've noticed is that sometimes price might not want to come and create like a deep retracement. If it does, it does. But this is why we got to sit on our feet and just see what the market's going to do. On the higher time frame, like a monthly, we're always going to look for places of interest, imbalances. People have, they call it FVGs, fair value gaps, whatever it is, institutional candles, right? We're looking for these things. Sometimes the market also wants to come back to old resistance, old supply. Okay. So if you notice here, here is an imbalance over here on the monthly, right here on the monthly. Okay. And then also we can also see an institutional candlestick over here, a nice little area of supply, right? This was old resistance or whatever, and we had that breakout. I know people call it a breakout. Nevertheless, that's something I also look at as well. It just makes sense, if you drag it to the past or whatever. But for teaching's sake, I'm looking at a monthly imbalance right in here. All right, we're still on the monthly time frame, and I'm formulating my ideas right now. I'm letting you guys know, here's what I was looking at. Here's what it takes. Here's what it looked like for me to just formulate my idea and why I believe that I was bullish and getting into an entry for GBP So we said that this is a monthly imbalance. What we see on the higher time frame is what we see on the lower time frame as well. We have this low, high, low, high, low. This is the last low that put in this high that broke structure on the monthly time frame. So now I'm looking at this and we're in a range now. Because we're bullish, we want to look for bullish setups only. We're in a range. When it came into this monthly imbalance, there's something that we want to see in here on the lower time frame to further give us a reason why we need to look for buys. Okay. I'm gonna take this out so the chart is cleaner. Let's go into the daily time frame, and every candlestick that you see in here is formed on the daily time frame. So something to notice, something that I definitely noticed, which is very beautiful. What I seen is that we have this fake institutional candlestick over here. People call it a breaker block. I know ICT calls it that, and some other people. Guys, it's all the same thing. It is what it is. But the banks know smart money, and how I was taught originally is that when we have something like this, where I'll remove this, We have something like this where we have an institutional candle that's last buy to sell. All right, price swept these highs over here. Beam took those buyers out, took sellers out, and then went lower. And then smart money says that yeah, we're gonna sell over here. Okay, we're gonna sell over here. And what happens is the markets or the banks, institutions, they know that people are going to try to sell over here. What happens is once they come do that and everything, even if you want to extend your high over here, the markets take you out, obliterated over here. My gosh. All right. So I don't even know why this would happen in the past. This would low key would happen to me low key. Like I'm seeing this, I'm like, okay, well, that's an IC candle. Perfect. No, we're bullish on the weekly and the monthly, okay? This would have been a perfect setup to just get into the market and whatnot. Nevertheless, that's what happened. And I call it a fake institutional candle. And I know that the markets and the banks like to come back into these things and mitigate, come back, fill their positions, close their losses, and go into the direction of where the market needs to go. And also, what we see in here, we also see an imbalance. This is in the daily time frame, guys. Okay, we see an imbalance as well, like a daily imbalance. Let's say this daily imbalance. All right. Once you see that daily imbalance, all right, we have this low, high. We want to make sure that price doesn't go lower than that. So we gotta wait. And what happens is price fails to create a new lower low. Okay. Now what do we have here? We have this is so beautiful, guys. Oh my gosh. We have a low, and we have a high. We have a break of structure right over here on the daily time frame. Okay. And by noticing, this is why it's always good to know where you are as a trader, which is the second thing I'm gonna always tell you guys, or I'm gonna tell you right now, is that you have to know where you are in the market for you to formulate your ideas and just be like firm on it. You get me? So seeing this, I'm like, all right, bet we're bullish. So we have a low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. All right. And the reason why I put it there is because I'm looking at the low, the last significant low that put in this significant high, the significant swing point right in here. Okay. Now, here's what I'm looking at. I should never do that. I'm looking at this low, this last significant low, and the significant high right over here. Right. Now, what I did, I wonder if I could go back. Let me see. Uh, yes, sir. OBS would have failed me there, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So what I see, I was like, okay, bet, say less. We're in a range right now. I'm gonna take my fib from low to high, and then I'm looking at like this area of interest, okay? This OTE, this optimal trade entry over here, and this zone, this area of demand over here. Okay. Now, if I were to enter off of, my 78.60, it would have been nice. I'm not gonna lie, like 50 pips, bro. This had to be 50 pips or 55 pips. And being a swing trader means that like your stop losses tend to be a little larger though, It is what it is. But seeing that, I was like, nah, I'm not comfortable with taking that 55 pip. Maybe if it was 50 pips, then maybe I would have considered. But that's not what happened. So I want to wait to see if I can get a reaction on the 4 hours. And remember, guys, what I said on the higher time frame, after a low is swept, we're always gonna see an expansion, okay? And because we're bullish, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a little bit swept in here and a break of structure possibly is what we need to see for us to really consider getting into the market. That's what I want to see for me, a reaction, right? So we're playing the market. Beam. A low is swept over here. This is literally what I said, bro. And it's crazy. I'm seeing these things now. And it's good to expose yourself to these things because the more you practice, the more you just start seeing things like this, like it's cake, it's like work. And I'm still learning these things. I'm still practicing learning how to see things from like a bird's eye perspective like this. Okay. So what we have here, we have a low, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Here we have a breaker structure right here. And I know if I go on the 1 hour, that is a breaker structure. The reason why is because this is the last um, lower high that put in this lower low, but we're still bullish in the higher time frame. Okay. So we get a breaker structure over here. Oops, do this. We get a breaker structure, and then now what I'm looking for, we're looking for like a 4 hour time frame breaker structure as well. So something like this. So we wait, we wait. Boom. We get like a nice little break. We get that expansion, like I said, would happen, man. After a low is taken, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. So now when I saw this, I was like, all right, perfect. Like I'm in there. I'm in there like somewhere. I know I've seen this multiple times before. So my thought process was that, okay, well, I'm gonna take this fib. Let me remove this so you guys can see. Take this out. And let's put that back right here. We have a breaker structure. Okay. My thought process is that because I'm looking at it from like this expansion, I'm looking at a retracement from there to there, from this low to this high right in here. All right. This is the range. And this is what I'm looking at. Okay. Now, my entry was somewhere in here. I might have to just look into my notebook and see what I wrote. And then my stop loss had to be, 32 pips, somewhere around here. And then I'm targeting the daily high because that is the where I believe that we're going. Okay. It looks like a 6 to 1 here, but like I said, I have to just refine it and actually tell you guys what it actually looked like from my POV. But yeah, my thought process was that, okay, well, I know there's a price opened up on that Sunday, okay, and there's a bearish candle somewhere, an invisible bearish candle somewhere in here that took this low imbalance, okay, and we want to come back and maybe mitigate this imbalance and then we go higher. And here's what happened. All right. And I literally saw this happen like it was a Friday, yeah, or Thursday, whenever it happened, bruh. And I was like, bruh. But I'm actively learning how to just sit on my feet, and I watched it happen, and I'm glad that I didn't force myself to enter. But I'm more so happy that like what I'm looking at, I was correct in terms of like analysis, but my entry just wasn't there, and it's okay. Being right is not the same thing as being disciplined, like I said in the beginning of the video. So back testing this and seeing why this happened, there was probably something I didn't see, and it's super funny that I didn't consider this. I'm gonna show you guys what happened. So if we go on the 1 hour, all right, and I'm not going any lower than this. Every candlestick you see here was formed in 1 hour. We got to break a structure. This is the low right here that broke structure and put in this high. Okay, right here, right here, and now we have a range right here in that 1 hour range. Which is beautiful. This is magnificent. Okay, now when I put my fib from the low, from this low that broke structure on the 1 hour, and this low that also broke structure on the 4 hours to this high over here, like this high over here. Okay, let's go back. What do we see here? We see this low over here. And like I said, like when you see a low, man, internal liquidity, we're always looking for that expansion. So I know that this is like it's added confluence to my trading and everything. Bro, it's hitting the 78.60 right there. Stop loss at this low, still considering this imbalance, and then we're targeting the daily high right there. For a 6 to 1, that's beautiful, I'm not gonna lie, It should have been a 5 to 1. That's just like my tolerance now. But because we know where we're going, this is fine. So boom, price does its thing. Matter of fact, we can play this actually. and then we just go from there. All right. And now we're at present day. It should stop at present day or wherever it's at right now. Hold on. Let me just see. Yeah. So yeah, guys, this is really it. This is like it's like a dumbfounded moment. Although we didn't come to my entry, it did come. This is something that I want to make sure that I know, and I know this, but I just didn't consider it. This is the low that broke the structure and it made a new range, okay? Low to high. And this is what I should have been looking at, but it is what it is. I missed out, but hey, the best trade is no trade, guys. So, thanks for watching, y'all boys. Thanks for tapping in. This was for educational purposes only. We're gonna do more of these, and there's so many things that I've learned and I'm still learning in my journey and everything that I'm just gonna drop and I'm gonna drop. And you guys, like I said, get to be part of this journey as well as you see the development. So we're funded. We'll be trading all year, doing our best to just be consistent with just dropping this content out there in YouTube and whatever social platform. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And what else? Follow me on Instagram, man. The House of Stewardship, the Terrace Official, and all of that. So let's get it. God bless.